Yeah.
Oh God, I'm shaking. I get chills and putting thermal underwear.
Did you really, huh?
Oh, hell yeah.
Wait, funny, never bothered.
No.
Oh, I never had that like
The
that
only one that I
before.
don't like is the tetanus shot. Your arm feels
Oh,
like
yeah.
concrete.
Yeah.
They wanted to give me the booster shot and the flu shot. I said, no, give me one, so that if I get a reaction, I want to know what it is.
Go back and get the booster shot.
Oh, I will. I'll be getting the booster.
I got them last year, I got them both.
Yeah.
When I went, I said, yeah, you said, you wanna get them both? Sure. I don't need to make enough, oh boy.
You get the RSV shot,
No, I haven't.
go back and get that one too.
Yeah. That the one you have to drop drawer and they,
No, that's a different one.
put one on TV.
I know, well, we'll see when it turns out, it should be burned off pretty soon.
Yeah, they said
Supposed to
10.
be nice, you know?
Yeah.
Just feel bad for the arts in the common, it doesn't look good.
For the weather?
Friday and Saturdays.
Friday and
No,
Saturday.
really?
Rain,
It
again.
got rained out last year.
Oh, okay.
Moved it to Mill Pond. Now it looks, I talked to Maureen Johnson yesterday, we're gonna meet down there tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock, but. Gee. That's such a good, it's such a good show, it's fun to go to that, a lot of interesting stuff. They do a great job.
What is this?
Arts in the Common,
Oh, yeah.
that's good, I mean, you see a lot of neat stuff, you know?
Wonder if Mike Smith's going for that.
He has before.
Has he?
Yeah.
He does beautiful
Yeah,
work.
yeah. He made me a bowl, a real nice one. Oh, gee, that's a nice. I got him some wood someplace or something. He wanted, anyways. So he made me.
Do you have anything to report to us today?
And the M&M, an M&M
So,
bowl.
It was
Peter had sent out a
When my mother died, she had
request
a
for
tree that was
quotes
growing
to a company in Milford
beside
for
the
the
back
limestone
steps
repair.
going into the back door.
He
which is
listed
the
me as
only
a
door that
contact,
I ever
and
used at that
I haven't
house.
had anything back.
We said, Mom, we gotta cut
Wow.
this.
But I
We
will
dropped
say,
red berries.
He just
We
sent
were
it out
walking up and down steps all over
last
the
week.
berries, and
Oh,
she
so.
said, "No,
When they
I
announced the
don't want that
meeting,
tree down. I like the fact there's
he
nothing
sent
to
it out
see
that
in
day.
my
He must have like,
backyard.
oh shit,
Yeah.
and sent it out. So I'll let him speak
She
to
said,
that.
set.
Okay.
All set.
Okay. All right.
He's just learning how to shut that phone off.
Yeah, I'm trying and don't wanna shut off.
It's 8:45, so we can call the September 28, 2023 meeting of the Municipal Building Committee to order. First thing is, do we have anybody here for open forum? Nobody?
But not for open forum.
Okay, this thing is, we do have minutes from 8/17/23. Has everybody had a chance to look them over?
I saw him
Yep.
yesterday.
Okay, do we have a motion to accept?
I move to accept the minutes.
Peter, motion.
I'll second.
Jim Stewart, second. All those in favor?
Aye.
4 present, unanimous. Anything under new business? Okay, nothing under new business. Old business. Jim, you wanna do an update on the
Yeah, the only thing
limestone?
that we've got, I was tasked at the last meeting to get some quotes for the limestone repair on the Ford's Municipal Building. I was working with Peter Collins on that. He had a list of vendors that had bid on work on previous town buildings on limestone repair, as well as the Forbes building. There's a company, and I don't have it in front of me, in Milford that was sent a request for quotes by Peter Collins and me as the contact person. And as of this meeting, I haven't received anything back from them yet. That just did go out last week, so it's not like they've had it a long time. So I'm hoping that I hear something shortly. If not, I can reach out to them by phone and see if we can at least have a conversation about it and see if they're interested in the project. And I don't know if Peter has talked with them or not. I know he had a list of people. We were gonna start with the closest to Westborough and see if we could get somebody to come and do it, but that's where we're at right now with this.
Jim, will that work? Is that something that needs to be done in good weather?
I would imagine once the weather starts getting cold, you wouldn't wanna do that type of work, so I don't know if we'll get it in before spring at this point.
Any comments on that? No comments. Okay. We have any other business to discuss?
I just had a question on the carport thing. How did we leave that? We're gonna get a quote on something, or
No.
we're gonna get someone to give us ideas, or what was the?
So at this point, from last meeting, we've already talked to the chief about, and he did this for the last couple of years. They're having, instead of their officers getting out of the car and, walking off the sides, out the sides of the building, they're gonna walk up the
Yeah.
internally, and then cross there. That way, they're not ever gonna be standing in, spots that potentially iced up. That's part of the drive as it comes in and it gets salted on a regular basis by the DPW or the contractors we use to do the building. So that's the plan right now, until we can come up with a better solution. I think we've all tossed around different solutions. I think the gutter, that was one of the things we talked about, was the gutter. I've kind of put that one away. I just don't think it's gonna work. And when I have the people who are gonna do the work tell me, this probably isn't gonna solve your problem, it was quite expensive.
Well, I remember we talked about some of that. And
Yeah.
then we talked about what it would cost to reconfigure the roof, which I understand is a throwaway, what we have. But I'm just curious if there was any movement on anything.
So there hasn't been any movement on it, and it sounds to me, when Ian had spoke at the last meeting, that anything we do with that carport is not gonna be part of
That's
building,
right.
building funds or building project money anyway. It would have to be appropriated to do the work. So at this point, We're going into winter again. We have a plan to, keep that, we roof rake off the roof now on a regular basis. We keep it heavily salted, and then with the officers walking up through the middle of the structure, we're hoping that's going to solve any slip and falls. Besides that, I think the next thing we should probably look at, Peter, is like you said, is a redesign of the roof.
I wasn't sure, I know we talked that, I just didn't know how we left. I don't remember after I leave the meeting what we talked about. But, no, I was just curious, that's
Yep.
all.
Yep.
Because it is a shame that we have that kind of an issue with something we just put in. And we rely on other people to tell us how things should be, because we don't design this stuff, and then we end up with something that didn't quite work out the way we had all hoped.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. Do we keep a 55-gallon drum out back there?
We do,
Yeah.
yes.
So-
I don't know if it's been delivered yet, but the DPW drops it off and leaves that there. Plus, we also have a spreader and bags of salt right inside the Sally Port door that we leave right there, just in case it's an overnight situation when there's nobody that's, maybe the contractor hasn't showed up yet or something, in case something gets bad. But they do keep that plowed. We have the vendor does the fire department and police department, goes back and forth with a skid steer, and they keep it scraped down pretty good. It's better than it's ever been. I mean, when the DPW was doing it, because they take care of roads first, sometimes stuff would build up in those parking lots, but that's kind of been rectified now, and the vendor that's been doing it the last few years has done a good job.
Okay.
Al, I think that, that unfortunate incident that happened with the officer out there slipping and falling and everything, and I think that was such a wake-up call to everybody, that they stayed away from that area and knew not to go around that corner.
Right.
I mean, we've been accident-free since that happened, but, when you're just going out the door and it's a brand-new thing and everything, you're not anticipating it to be, clear ice under the snow or whatever, and then that's what happened, and it was just, unfortunate thing, but I mean, everybody's very aware with it, and I think that, the chief and everybody, that they probably talk about that at meetings in the winter or something like that. Be careful, extra careful when you're going out there or whatever.
I'm sure the roll call
situation.
addresses that issue,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
they're well aware of it.
And Earl and myself, we went and talked to Chief Minardi prior to the last meeting,
Yeah.
just to let him know, where we were with what we're doing out there, and he was on board with basically doing the same thing he's done the last couple of years to try to stay accident-free there.
So are we on this building done?
I don't-
hate to even
I
say
mean,
that word.
We had a punch list, which I think is pretty much been taken care of. The only
Yeah.
last thing was the limestone. That was the last thing we had, so
Yeah.
there really, unless we can get some kind of quotes, then it's something the town wants to do. There really
So,
isn't.
Al, I was just, you reviewing the minutes, we just passed that. Did you get a chance to talk to Christie about that? Because the last thing here is, we were going to close out the project, or work to closing out the project, and, but we were gonna use the monies from the building funds to do it, but they're trying to close it out, and I don't know where we are with that.
Right, I have spoken with Christie, and, she was under the impression that we were pretty much done with everything we need to do with the building. There really isn't anything further. Other than, we brought up the limestone, and we're not sure if that's gonna come under what's left over in the funds, or if that's something additional after we close it out. So, again, she doesn't know, which way to really go with it. But, we're basically spinning our wheels now, because there's nothing we can really do, and there's nothing that's any call for us.
Yeah, really, that's the only thing that I see. I mean, the punch list stuff has been rectified. It's either the town is conceded to certain items on the punch list that we would take care of ourselves, or it's been corrected by Five Star
Right.
some time ago, so.
Right. I think according to, Peter, a dollar amount was put on some of the punch list items, and that was taken off of what we supposedly owed to Five Star. So, I mean, to me, it's, I don't know that we can close the building up completely, but I don't think there's a real call for us now to have any more meetings until something else comes up. I mean, we can put it on hold and say, if something comes up, we can be notified from the town that we need to address something, and then we can have another meeting. But, I mean, for the time being, just the sake of meeting, it's not gonna achieve anything.
I mean, the only thing I see would be left is if we did use project funds to take care of the limestone repair. First of all, we'd have to vote on once I get a quotes, to accept it. And then when the invoice came in, we'd have to vote to pay it.
Right.
Besides that, I don't know, I don't see anything else that's left at that
Right.
building.
And as you stated, that, I mean, this work has to be done in the decent weather. So, I mean, this could be a springtime
Yeah.
project, and so we're not gonna get the bill to pay that until the spring anyway. So, my opinion is, after this meeting, we can put any future meetings on hold unless there is a call for us to have to do another meeting. How do you guys feel on this?
I'm gonna miss you guys.
No, I agree with you 100%.
Yeah. I mean, it's been great. I mean, I've been involved unofficially since, we started doing the buildings. I mean, when my 16 years as the chief, I mean, there was always something going on.
Yeah.
But once I retired in 18 is when I joined this group, and it's been wonderful. I mean, Dexter's here, and he's the founding father of the
Absolutely.
group. And,
Absolutely.
it's been wonderful. I think, we've done a lot of good work. But, you get to the point now where it's not necessary. So maybe we won't set another meeting. We'll just have to wait and see. I'll try to meet with Christie and just get her input on it, because I'm sure they're gonna look at whatever funds we have left over, if they're gonna use them for any future town meetings to offset the taxes on something. But, I'll sit down with her and maybe the new budget manager in town. I guess the new one's coming.
Just another curiosity, I guess, on my part is, we're all here elected to terms, and I don't even know where we're at with that on,
Yeah, well, I think Dexter was up this year, correct?
I was up, my term expired June 30 this year.
Right, so the rest of us are.
I just was appointed.
Right, so I think I'm probably the next one up.
Well, I would, I mean, personally, I'm gonna bring this up. I would think that the country club building would come under us, but I'm hearing through the grapevine that they're gonna have a separate building committee, but I don't have somebody here, Ian or Christie, to tell me that. But hearing what they're talking about at last Tuesday night's selectmen's meeting, they're gonna have a separate building committee for that.
What are they gonna do with it?
Huh? Well,
Yeah.
they're gonna tear it down. They voted to tear it down.
Okay.
Unanimously voted to tear the building down, so that obviously they're gonna rectify put a new building on, I
So
imagine.
they're gonna put a new building up?
Yes,
Well, that should fall under this committee.
yeah, that's what I think too, but they're talking about having a separate building committee for that. That doesn't make a lot of sense, I guess, so whatever.
That doesn't make a lot of sense, and that's what this committee is supposed to be, a standing building committee.
Right,
Take care of any town buildings other than schools and libraries.
yeah, that's right.
I mean, and I argued with Christie when she put forth the name building committee to study the building, and they changed it to a building reuse study committee.
Yeah, and they did a good job.
Oh, yeah, no, I don't think.
They did a good job.
So that it didn't conflict with the charter functions of this committee.
Right. So that's what I'm hearing, but I can't really get if that may be, then we might as well they might as well dissolve the municipal building
Wait a
committee.
minute, it's a charter, it's in the charter, the building
Right.
committee. This committee is a charter committee, it's not a town meeting committee, it's a charter committee.
That's right.
Right. And I think the town should utilize the expertise that we have on this committee. There should also be people who are connected to the country club, because they're gonna have, you know, a stake in what's going on
Of
up
course
there.
there is.
But you certainly, you know, and we're short members,
Yeah.
certainly can add other members on that are connected to the country club. So,
So you
but,
can tear it down and build a new building, is that the,
Yeah,
then that's not on this town meeting warrant,
no, it's not, no,
probably be in the spring then.
the spring?
yeah, yeah. But they just came to the conclusion, you know, they voted. selectmen
Tuesday
voted
night.
unanimously Tuesday night to take the recommendation of the committee to tear the building down.
Well, I can understand that.
I mean, that makes common sense.
Makes
We
sense,
all
makes sense.
agree with that.
The question is, should the town be in the business to build a restaurant to rent? That's my,
Right.
my concern about it. And then you're in competition with other restaurants? Yeah, wait a minute.
That was a sticking point way back,
I know.
and now, I agree with you. I mean, I'm not against there being one there, but why would the town? I mean, we went round and round at a town meeting on why would the town want to be involved in restaurant? You know, being the overseer of the restaurant.
Right.
Even though you're gonna hire somebody to manage it, it's our restaurant.
Right. There's a
Well, I'm
liquor
surprised about
license
that.
involved there too.
Hmm?
There's a liquor license
Oh,
involved
yeah,
there
absolutely.
too.
Well, town can't hold it, or
Right.
can they?
No.
No,
Town can't hold the liquor license,
no,
can they?
somebody, whoever runs
Well, you
the,
know, when it was originally, the operating committee held the license,
That's right.
with the manager being the manager of the restaurant, or Reagan, or whoever, and that was so that the operator of the restaurant couldn't transfer the license somewhere else.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But then town council came along and said, nah, you can't have the town holding its own license, so you need it, the selectmen can not issue the license, just let it sit in the basket somewhere, and when that becomes available to do it. But there's also the other issue that golf courses can have a separate license for on-premise services as well as off-premise service. You know, they have the golf cart, the beer wagon goes around. So, I don't know what's,
well, I can bring that up to Christie also when I meet with her and find out her thoughts on, you know,
Well,
including us.
Because if other things happen, that committee can't do anything. We have the ability to oversee other buildings.
Right.
If the recreation wants to do something down here at Boston, whatever, I know that's not on, that's in the horizon, but that committee couldn't do anything with that.
Right.
So I would think we're still a committee, whether we have meetings or have a building to look at.
Yeah. All right, I'll meet
I
with,
agree with you, Peter. It's a charter committee, as I said.
yeah. I'll meet with Christie and see if we can get some direction on, you know, where we're going from here.
Right. We should, I mean,
Yep.
you should.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree. Do we have any other business? Okay, seeing none, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Earl, Peter,
Second.
second. All in favor? Four present.
Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure.
Dexter, we miss you.
Same.
Even though you're here, we still miss you.
Well, thanks.